Good morning and a warm welcome to everyone assembled here. I feel honored to be a part of this international conference on the role of artificial intelligence on emerging economies of the world, organized by the Department of Commerce, Corporate Secretaryship, Accounting and Finance, Business Administration, Computer Science, Computer Applications, and Mathematics. It's a big event for us as it is shaped in a way to attract the interest of all gathered here. We have put in a lot of passion with a family-like spirit in shaping a conference which would hopefully get us closer to you. By introducing fresh viewpoints and practical applications to the field, this conference will provide the researchers with additional motivation for their research. It will also broaden their horizons when it comes to meeting both domestic and international needs. This conference promises to be a rewarding and an enriching learning experience for the numerous distinguished individuals from various colleges who have come to interact with us and share their vast knowledge. Let us begin this inaugural ceremony by seeking the blessings of Lord Almighty with a prayer song followed by Tamil Thai Varthu. I request all of you to kindly stand. Kindly be stand for the Tamil Thai Varthu.
Mother, see them,
Kindly be seated. I would like to invite Dr. Levina, Assistant Professor, Department of English, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, and a very warm welcome to all of you. In order to achieve milestones, there should be a determined beginning. And today, St. Anne's Arts and Science College is at the threshold of a perpetual odyssey. On behalf of this esteemed institution, I welcome you all to the first international conference on the role of artificial intelligence on emerging economies of the world. This forum presents an opportunity for us to involve ourselves in a research-oriented discourse on an emerging field of technology that has made its impact felt in various sectors around the world. St. Anne's Arts and Science College has grown immensely since its inception in 2014. It has soared to great heights in the field of higher education for young women and is now stepping into the next phase of academia, which is research. On this note, I consider this as an opportune moment and take great pride in welcoming our chairperson, Reverend Mother Dr. Lima Rosario, who has been at the helm of affairs and has also been the guiding light in ensuring that this institution propels steadily forward in the direction of academic achievements. And we are, at such an important juncture today, conducting our first ever international conference on a burgeoning field that is all set to revolutionize humanity. As the world moves towards a digital economy, the impact of artificial intelligence is becoming increasingly significant. AI has the potential to revolutionize the way we live, work, and interact with each other globally. The emerging economies of the world can benefit immensely from this technology and can pave the way for a more prosperous and inclusive future. As the famous quote by Stephen Hawking goes, "The rise of powerful AI will be either the best or the worst thing ever to happen to humanity. We do not yet know which." It is important for us to deliberate and discuss the potential challenges and opportunities that AI poses so that we can harness its power for the betterment of humanity. It is my honored duty at this point in time to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Rob Peck from USA, digital marketer, Director of Client Services, O3M Directional Marketing. We are pleased to have you with us, sir. I also take this opportunity to welcome our resource persons for the day, Dr. Mercy Sylvester, Dr. M. Ananthanarayanan, Dr. K. Selvi, and Dr. A. Murugan. I feel honored to welcome Dr. Mercy Sylvester, Associate Professor in Head, Department of Commerce, Chevalier T. Thomas Elizabeth College for Women. She has over 35 years of experience and has been an associate member of the Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of India. She has presented and published papers internationally and nationally. I am immensely pleased to welcome and have amidst us Dr. M. Ananthanarayanan, Associate Professor of Mathematics, A.M. Jain College. He has 32 years of teaching experience and is an ex-member of the Senate of the University of Madras. I consider this a moment of pride in welcoming Dr. K. Selvi, Associate Professor, Jabas College for Women, SIET. A university rank holder and gold medalist, Dr. K. Selvi has 22 years of teaching experience, and in those 22 years, her accolades are uncountable. Most importantly, she's a pioneer and considers it as a goal to work for the education and financial betterment of women in our country, which completely resonates with our institution's vision. It is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Murugan, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Computer Science, Dr. Ambedkar Government Arts and Science College. Dr. Murugan has had a glorious career spanning several decades and has varied research interests, some of which are molecular computation, graph theory, and data structure. He has published several papers both nationally and internationally. I would like to welcome our principal, Dr. I. Annamal Arpudameri, our Dean of College Development, Srimati Benedict Kumari. I take this opportunity to heartily welcome all our dear sisters whose constant encouragement and motivation have brought us this far. I also welcome the faculties, non-teaching and supporting staff of this institution and the student community, and extend a warm welcome once again to all the participants who have come from places across the globe. I hope that this conference serves as a platform for fruitful discussions and collaborations, and that it paves the way for innovative solutions that will shape the future of our economies. Thank you, and I wish you all a successful and productive conference.
Thank you, ma'am, for your earnest welcome address. It is time to felicitate and honor our chief guest, which has been a part of St. Anne's tradition. I take pleasure in inviting our eminent women achiever and the guiding light of our institution, Reverend Mother Dr. Lima Rosario, the chairperson of the college, to felicitate the chief guest, Mr. Rob Peck. It is time to felicitate our beloved mother, Reverend Mother Dr. Lima Rosario. For this, I call upon Dr. I. Annamal Arpudameri, the principal of the college, and Srimati Benedict Kumari, the Dean of College Development, to do the honors. It is our honor to felicitate our resource persons. I request all our guests to accept a memento as a token of our respect and appreciation. With a warm heart, we invite our chairperson, Reverend Mother Dr. Lima Rosario, to felicitate the resource persons. Let me welcome CMA Dr. Mercy Sylvester from Chevalier T. Thomas Elizabeth College for Women, Sembium, Chennai. I invite Dr. M. Ananthanarayanan from AMJ College, Meenambakam, Chennai. I call upon Dr. K. Selvi from Justice Bashir Ahmed Sahid College for Women, Chennai. Let me welcome Dr. A. Murugan from Dr. Ambedkar Government Arts College, Vyasarpadi, Chennai. Thank you, Mother. I invite Mrs. Vasumati, Head Department of English, to introduce the chairperson, Reverend Mother Dr. Lima Rosario.
An educationist, a humanitarian, and a firm believer of women's rights to education. She is the source that we draw our inspiration from and march forward. She is our beloved mother, Reverend Mother Dr. Lima Rosario, our chairperson, who is the rock that this institution stands upon. Like the northern star being the anchor of the northern sky, a landmark and a sky marker that helps people, those who follow it, determine direction as it glows brightly to guide and lead towards a purposeful destination in its likeness, is our beloved mother, who is the beacon of hope and motivation for us. As the great W.B. Yeats once said, education is not filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Such is our dear mother's view and stance on education. She believes that higher education is a spark capable to free young to be themselves with a power to discern, to challenge, to appreciate, to be positive and different, and to be fully human and fully alive. In a world like today, where the fight for equal rights for women is still an active discussion among feminists and people of the world in general, she is steadily carrying forward the legacy of our foundress Tatipatri Nyanamma, whose very vision was to work towards the emancipation of women through education. Our Reverend Mother has been guiding the faculty and students since the institution's inception. She is an inspiration to us all in introducing new courses, encouraging excellence, and new programs in students' activities, which is truly thrusting St.Anne's Arts and Science College into prominence in the nation. Our mother is a role model for all the faculty and students for the discipline and incomparable hard work which she practices in daily life. And today, as we stand at the beginning of a long road ahead in the next phase of academics, it is with her support and guidance that we have taken on the courage to move forward with big dreams to achieve.
With a happy heart, let us now invite our chairperson, Reverend Mother Dr. Lima Rosario, to address the gathering.
A hearty welcome to you all. Good morning. The whole world is talking about the creative unity today, according to the concept of Swami Vivekananda. What is this creative unity? What is creativity? What is this unity? There should be a harmony and a connection between these three components, that is, body, mind, and soul. If these three parts of a person is not combined together, we cannot run our life here in this world peacefully. There would be a chaos, disorder in physical condition, and disorder in mind, and very much disorder in the soul. So this creative unity is leading us to be intelligent in the spiritual quotient. This is called spiritual intelligence. As you are going to deal with the artificial intelligence, it is my part as a religious woman to talk about the spiritual intelligence. So as you take up this part, my role here to make you understand what is this spiritual intelligence. They asked me to prepare this inaugural address. I prepared something from the black and white, but the Holy Spirit is asking me to say something to you from my heart and from my guts. And this is not my subject, this is not my cup of tea. The matter is in your hands. Your mind is full of your subject. But my soul is awakened today and asked me to say in few words which comes directly from above. I think this would help you to run your life peacefully according to the concept of Rabindranath Tagore. And in 1860s, those days it was a taboo. It was a prohibition of the society to deny girl education as a social protective measure to the girls. Unimaginable. The beginning of 19th century, can you imagine? So a lady, a woman, a young girl, a young widow from Andhra to Tamil Nadu, after losing her husband as a young widow at the age of 37, traveled from Andhra, uprooted her life totally from her kith and kin, from her families, after the death of her husband, and offering all her 5 sons to the service of God, and got them into the seminary to continue the mission of God, and she landed here in Tamil Nadu as a missionary. New language, new custom, new climate, new food patterns, and without anybody, she stood on the streets all alone. She came here, 30 kilometers from Chennai, that is called Sri Paramandur. You must be heard the name of this place. And she traveled there to the villages. She contemplated over the situation and found what was the then need of the hour. She found that girl education was missing. The same thing, the same event goes on. The bell rings. The same thing, the bell rings. The boys got into the classrooms. The girls got into the fields to graze the cattle. She thought, why this discrimination, gender discrimination in the end of 18th century? Therefore, she went back to her place, sold everything, all her possessions, and all her wealth, property, everything. She got the money and she established the first primary school in Tamil Nadu. Why? In India even, started by a lay woman. That is our pride. Give a big applause. Very easy for us to forget the good things of our ancestors. The amount of bloodshed, the amount of sweat they shed for the future growth of these young girls. Without our Mother Jnanama, widow, our colleges would not have been this higher education or primary education or secondary education. Even the universities in future, which we are dreaming about, this St.Anne college would become a university after 10 years. That is our dream. Would not have been in existence without this young widow. Therefore, my dear students, my dear scholars, and all the dignitaries on the stage, the special invitees, I ask of you one thing. Though we are full of our knowledge, full of our minds, the present situation, what all the titles we add after our name, if your soul is not combined with the relevance, we are waste. We are not going to be a social person. The spirituality will always connect us with this society. For 2 purposes we are here. One is, be good, sanctify yourself. Number 2 is, it is our duty to make others also be sanctified. What is this sanctity? It is not a religious word. Sanctity is a purity. Purity leads you to humanity, the full human. That is divinity. Therefore, you and me are called to this world to spread and this knowledge in terms of wisdom to everyone who is come in contact with us. I always love this anecdote to mention. A young girl was sleeping in her room all alone, you know very well. So in foreign countries, and these children at the age of 5, even before that, are given separate rooms to sleep. So one day, as this small child got up and went to her parents' room night because of fear to sleep alone. And she got up and woke her up, her mother. She said, "So Mama, I feel very, very fearful. I don't want to sleep alone because I am afraid to do so." Then her mother told her, "Yes, my child, God loves you. God is with you. God takes care of you." Then this little girl told her, "Yes, I know very well theoretically and mind level. I know God loves me. God takes care of me. God is with me. But I want somebody to be with me. I want you to be with me now to take care of me." This is the reason why we are in existence. Flesh and blood. We need to be present to each other in flesh and blood. They have to feel our presence. They have to enjoy our presence through our relationship. And you have to spread the values which is inculcated and given by God to you. And that is the end of education. To become an educated person, that is what? Filling oneself to the full with this divinity and trying to share this divinity, this humanity with everyone and making the world to be at peace. This is our mission, whoever may be. Maybe you belong to different religions, but humanity is the common religion, and being human is a God's mission given to us, each one of us. So this is the concept which we have introduced as a St.Anne's concept. Why these colleges have started in St.Anne's? It's not like other colleges. So that was my inaugural speech when we started the first college in Bangalore. I told them why we started the college. Because the value education was taking place from primary school till secondary school. Till the age of 17, we are traveling, we are journeying with the young ones. After 18, what is happening? After 18, they are getting into different schools, different managements. Whatever we taught, human education, value education, sex education, etc., is becoming waste. Why? Because from 18 onwards, next 3 years or 3 to 5 years, that is the probation period in the girl-child's journey. Somebody has to be there with them to guide, to walk one with them, to show them the right path. Therefore, from 17 to 22, to extend our company, to extend our accompaniment, to extend our journey with them as a friend, we thought of going for higher education to start the colleges. Therefore, this St.Anne's College also came into existence. Sometimes there are challenges to burn us. Sometimes, a few times, the target people will never understand our mission. How much we are working for this young generation. That is not our problem, today or the another. They will definitely understand the mission. The shed blood is something that's the foundation for their future. That is experience of us also. When we meet alumni, the old students of our college, when they come back, they said, "Mother, whatever you said those days, now we are trying to understand what is it." Therefore, this type of young generation, they are so powerful. Please, my dear scholars, keep this in your mind. Don't be dejected, don't be disappointed by looking at this young generation, not in full response to our efforts. One day this young generation will become the best citizens in future. So our mission is to do good, to think good, to act good, and be loving to one and all. In this way, we all make our journey together, thinking the in hope one day we will reach the horizons in excellent way in relevance. Whatever we do, we think and plan to do it in an excellent way. But don't forget the relevance. What is the situation now? What are the events? What are the current issues? What are the current problems burning in the world, in the society, and here in and out? Keeping in that our mind, make our education relevant, making our education practical, but at the same time, keeping the outside burning issues as our own. So wishing you all the best, a happy day, and joining together, and from various parts of the world, in the country, from various colleges, you are here. We are very happy to welcome you and to give you the best today. Enjoy the day. May God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mother. Certainly, your address goes a long way in inspiring us. Dr. I. Annamal Arpudamari, the principal of the college, will now introduce the chief guest, Mr. Rob Peck.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to each one of you present here. It is our privilege and honor to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Rob Peck, who has graciously accepted our invitation to join us today for our first international conference on the role of artificial intelligence on emerging economies of the world. Mr. Rob Peck hails from Miami in USA. He is a highly accomplished individual in the field of digital marketing. We are pleased to have him with us today to share his insights and expertise with the participants. I am sure that the interaction with our chief guest will be a valuable learning experience for all of us. Mr. Rob Peck is a strategic digital marketer, director of client services, O3M Directional Marketing. He has come a long way from 2013 until date. He has achieved great success in his field and has significantly contributed to the student and teaching community by addressing them on several occasions. His achievements and dedication to his work has backed many awards. To mention a few, the Customer Satisfaction Award by Google India for 4 consecutive years, an APAC winner of Growing Business Online Award. He has fulfilled outsourced advertising packages for more than 150,000 campaigns globally and supported more than 150,000 direct clients in the Indian market. He is very much eager in sharing his insights on internet opportunities and has taken on various roles in order to impart knowledge and engage in intellectual discussions in several educational institutions, both internationally and nationally. To name a few, he was a speaker and host in the University of Iowa, Zoho Masterclass, University of Madras, served as a subject expert in Sairam Engineering College, SRM Institute of Management, Loyola Institute of Business Administration, Women's Christian College, Vailtech University, Thirutangal Nadar College, and as a chief guest in Jaya College of Arts and Science, Queen Mary's College, and St. Peter's University. He is known for some amazing roles and as a voice-over artist in a few Tamil films like Vedalam, Vivegam, Dev, Kaviyan, Tik Tik, and Peraragi. We are very much pleased to have such an erudite personality amidst us. We eagerly look forward for your inspiring message, sir. Thank you.
With a pleasing heart, I welcome our chief guest, Mr. Rob Peck, to give the presidential address.
Yeah, Vanakkam, Thank you all for having me. Really honored to be here today. As a sort of quick vote of thanks, wanted to first of all thank all of the faculty, coordinators, leadership that put this together, and then the paper presenters, right? Eager and excited to learn today. And most of all, wanted to thank the students themselves, right? I think there's sometimes a misconception with days like this that, yes, I'm happy to share what I know. I'm happy to impart some of my experience and these sort of things. But, different one. No, other one. Yeah. Happy to impart all these sort of different things. But most of all, you all are leading the way. So I'm here to learn from you equally. And it's true. In my industry, we spend a lot of time talking about things like regional language vernacular campaigns, or the importance of mobile-first marketing for the younger generation, or all of these sort of things. You're the ones doing it, right? So as much as I hope you learn from me, I'm here to learn from you as well. And so yeah, thank you to everyone. I was struck by something Reverend Dr. Mother said in her speech with the don't just look at the titles after the names, right? And I think there's a lot of truth in that. But then, of course, I had to look at the honorifics in your name. And I think that's what shapes up a wonderful event like today. So what do we have? Reverend Dr. Mother, right? Reverend Dr. Mother. So Reverend, there's clearly a higher calling to a day like this. It's not just business or education for the sake of it, but how do we achieve some higher goal today? Doctor, with that said, we need to be educated so we can talk about these things. And then mother, most of all, we need to guide and care for and embrace each other, right? So when I'm thinking about what a wonderful conference is, I think in many ways it is summed up by Reverend Dr. Mother, right? So thank you all. So I think I had a lovely bio, so I can skip over this one. And then very quickly about the company, right? Essentially what we do as digital marketers is we work to understand our clients' customers' path to purchase and decision making, right? And then it's our job to make sure our clients are present during that path to purchase, right? Whether it's a high consideration sort of thing like buying a home or attending what university, or it's something impulsive, a cool new pair of sunglasses, right? We need to understand how they shape those decisions online and then make sure the client's present there. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about how AI is accelerating or enabling that. And then also, since we are sort of in the beginnings of our careers, a little bit about how it's changing the candidate roles, right? So to me, there's kind of 3 A's of what's advancing this stuff. The changing role of the analyst, the one actually doing the work, or now increasingly guiding the machines to do the work. Advances and declines in attribution, how we measure all this stuff. And then the acceleration of ML, automation, AI, and sort of related things and how it helps our campaigns. Next. So I wanted to define some of these terms first. These will not be exact definitions. I'm a marketer, is my passion, and then AI impacts us. AI first people may sort of disagree with some of these definitions, but please bear with me. So automation is sort of the basic one. The human is thinking, and then the machine is doing the work, right? A straightforward example of that is programming your Alexa or Google Chrome or even your phone. Just, hey, when it's 8 a.m., turn the light on, set the alarm clock, turn on the radio, right? That's all automation is. At a consumer level, kind of the smart home stuff. At a business level, tools where we're kind of connecting different things, right? When I get an email with a time, put it in my calendar, send them an invitation, create a Zoom link. It's still the human running the show. Tech is just making things a little easier. Next. Then next we have machine learning. Here we're getting into the good stuff, but it's not fully sort of the deep learning neural net. Machine learning, you've guided things, but then the machine works to learn from past experiences. And this is a subset of AI. So an example of machine learning in practice, first the humans guided. This is Swiggy's real code for breakfasts, how they map their breakfasts, right? Not the menu, but what they think you might want to order. And it's pretty logical, right? Dosa goes with tea, idli goes with puri, right? Very straightforward stuff. Everyone knows this. Sometimes the humans do this, right? I was treated to a lovely breakfast today. Little bit of thinking there, foreigners coming. They gave me the nice English breakfast, right? Thank you. And then what does this turn into? How does this help us as marketers? That's where we see the second screen, our notifications on our phone. 6 o'clock, I'll get the notification, hey, it's pizza time, get 10% off your favorite pizza. You know what? Traditionally, Indians eat dinner a little later than Americans, different food. So around 8 o'clock, you might get the notification, hey, biryani special, right? And that's really machine learning. And then it's seeing, okay, did he order, did he not? Didn't order the pizza, let's try sushi tomorrow, right? And you sort of try these different things. So that's really machine learning. Then AI, there we're incorporating human intelligence into machines via a series of algorithms. This gets tremendously complex, but consider them as learning, reason, and self-correction. Probably good principles for life as well. Learning, reason, and self-correction, right? But we need to remember we have a big responsibility here. The machines are learning from us, right? And it's in its very nascent stages. So what we're doing on the internet is shaping AI, right? What information we're producing is shaping AI. So we need to look for things like institutional bias in it, or kind of these sort of things. We saw a big pushback with machine learning used for hiring because it was training on inherently biased data sets. Quite simple. If we say, look at the last 100 years and use that information to pick our next CEO, right? It's gonna be an old white guy, right? Because it looked at all the last CEOs and said, oh, old white guys, that's a pattern. It's not necessarily the best option, but if we're just looking at the stats and not guiding it and thinking about what bias is coming in, gotta be careful. And pretty much everyone in the crowd has a second responsibility, and perhaps even more important and more personal, is contributing to this growth in your mother tongues, in your regional languages. And this is really important because there is a different shaping up in AI. So if you look at this slide, it'll be hard to read, so I'll go through it. But essentially what I'm asking for here is, actually that's the next one. So here what I'm talking about is, hey, I live in Chennai, my in-laws are in town, what should I do, right? And ChatGPT gave me a really nice itinerary, OMR, this, that, but then it mentioned I was getting lunch at Taj Resort, and then I was getting dinner at Dakshin. So then I had to guide the AI a little bit. Hey, it's out of my budget, suggest something else, right? And then it gave me still a nice itinerary, but some street food, right? So good, but it learned from what I said, and it corrected. Yeah, please. But then next we have our deep learning, right? This is sort of the next level and what we're getting to. These are neural networks which work to mimic human-like behavior. Currently, it's a big divergence, right? We have our systems and our robots. System would be a big server room that's computing all this stuff. Robots would be like sort of the manufacturing. Where does this end? As we heard from many of the quotes, nobody knows. But maybe it is sort of that robot 2.0 type, right? Let's find out. Yeah, please. Now, we have a few fears. First is the paperclip problem. if we're leaving these machines to their own devices. So if you're not familiar with the paperclip problem, this is an old thought experiment, like in the early days of computing. And what it was if you tell an AI system, at all costs, the most important thing is maximizing the number of paper clips we can produce. Somewhere along the system, at first it's going to be efficiencies, right? Hey, electricity is a little cheaper at night, open the factory at night, or use this metal instead of that metal. All good ideas. But what happens at some point if the system then says, wait a minute, we could make more paper clips if there were no humans, right? Should it get rid of humans in that singular mission? Or do we need to train it to have some higher altruistic, helpful objective? And we can see ChatGPT gave the scary answer, right? Prioritizes the objective above all others, and then we don't consider the importance, such as keeping humans on Earth. We're just making paper clips, right? So we need to be careful with this stuff. And then finally, the different data sets. And this is where contributing in your languages is super, super important. Because here's 3 very different examples. First, I asked ChatGPT in English, hey, ChatGPT, did you eat lunch? And he goes, no. As an artificial intelligence language model, I don't eat lunch. Correct. And then I asked it in Tamil. What did I say here? And it said, Nandri, nan saptalam. Right? So there, it didn't say, I'm an AI tool. Right? And I suspect that's because less information in Tamil on the web than English. And then a lot of it is sort of, how do you say this? How do you say that? So it picked, what's the answer to have you eaten? Probably the most common question you get. And it's, yeah, I ate, right? And then my wife is Manipuri, my Thai speaker. Even less information on the web there. Couldn't even get it right. So I asked, how do you say, have you eaten in my Thai? And it said, Naposalga. And I go, I don't think that's right. I think have you eaten is Chakchaobra. And then ChatGPT replies, oh, yeah, my mistake. You're right, right? Because there's very limited information in my Thai on the web, which is then feeding ChatGPT. So big responsibility for everyone. If we want Tamil AI to be on the level of English AI, I assure you this is not keeping Bill Gates up at night. How do we build out the Tamil web? It should be keeping you up at night. And of course that applies for any language, right? That you want to preserve, protect, and grow. Yeah, please. So now let's get to the career, right? So a lot is changing. We can automate a lot of stuff. So I want to talk about how it's changing, and then a quick walkthrough of sort of kind of what the campaigns look like now. So the changing role of the analyst to me is either way we're moving a machine, right? We're moving the vehicle. But the old analyst is sort of the coal car on the rail train, right? Just shoveling that coal in every day and pushing the train ahead. I think as automation and AI come on board, we're becoming fighter jet pilots, right? So in the old days, a lot of it was manual bidding. What do I want to show for this advertisement or that advertisement? What's the most I'll pay? Or I should place my ad here. It should say this or say that. Each day full of micro decisions to make these client campaigns better, right? Instead, now as the fighter pilot in the cockpit, we have all these machines working for us. So now it becomes, we need to be that guiding human element, training and shaping these systems, setting up measurement, messaging, and conversion events, what we call success in a campaign, and then guiding and feeding inputs to the system so it can do its job, right? And that's sort of the shift I see. Now, we do have an interesting thing. For years, there was a concept called the uncanny valley of robotics, and I think this applies in AI as well. Essentially, the uncanny valley of robotics is that we love cute robots. R2-D2 from Star Wars. Love it. And then Terminator, Rajinikanth's robot, et cetera, et cetera. We love those too, those fully human androids. But something deeply disturbing happens right before that, where it's human-like, but not quite human. And psychologically, it's bothersome to us, right? Like on the nature shows, when they have a camera that looks like the animal, but not quite, the animals get all bothered. Same thing with humans, right? I feel like that's currently where we are in AI, where it's kind of slightly off, but we're getting there. Yeah. So let's say we have a tea shop, we have all these sort of tools. Here's 3 potential analysts in our company, in any company. One is kind of seasoned business guy, talks the talk, knows the lingo, wears the suit every day, just classic businessman, right? Next, you have the data junkie, really guiding into the numbers, understanding the trends, et cetera, et cetera. Third, we have the business owner and his kid, right? I'm most optimistic in this career about number 2 and number 3 and number 4, right? Because remembering that uncanny valley for robotics, when we apply it to AI, I see it as people who were previously completely locked out of these things, couldn't program anything, couldn't design anything, couldn't really access information systems. They're super enabled now, right? And then, of course, like the data, so that's kind of 3 and 4. They know the business, they know the human element, they have the most to gain from effectively promoting the tea shop, and now they're empowered to do it, right? Especially the kid. He's the analyst I would hire because walks both lines. Mobile first, knows sort of how his way around the web inherently, but knows the pain of coming up and running that business, right? So that's the uncanny valley. I'm worried about classic businessman number 1 because the data junkie, she's leading the way in the science. She'll found something, sell it to some company for a bunch of money. She's fine. Tea stall owner and his boy, they're enabled now to do the stuff. Classic business, he's probably at risk. Scary thing for me, I'm probably most like him. So let's see. Yeah. And then, so when we're hiring, what do we look for, right? I call it sort of fresher plus, that we generally do hire, sort of 0 to 1 year experience, but then we want that plus, and that can come in many different ways. Sometimes it's those digital academies, could be the 2-week course or the 6-month course, saves us a little bit of time as far as like, this is what it looks like stuff. Or on-the-job experience, of course. Roles change in companies, particularly post-COVID, right, where people are stretching into different activities. So maybe they gained some experience. My favorite are the last 2. Helping friends and family as a digital native, right? Or contributed to the web somehow that I already talked about. And the helping friends and family thing, that's how you can get some of the best practice. And going back to the tea stall example, it's my favorite, right? And I would leave that as a challenge for everyone. Something as simple as, I'm sure we all, here, if you've ever used Google Maps, raise your hand. Should be pretty much right, most people. If you've ever added a location on Google Maps, raise your hand. A bunch. 3, 4, do that. It's free, and some little business you care about, you can get them on Google and help get them more customers, right? And that's, as employers, what we love, love, love to see. We can teach the advanced skills and advanced systems, and that's part of training, but just that sort of desire to promote, right? And it's free, and then as an extension of that for the entrepreneurial folks, remember, in college, it's great timing if you want to start doing this stuff because no one's, sometimes, but as a rule, no one's expecting you to be successful in business while you're still in school. So do it, right? It's just sort of passively, and if it works, it works. If it fails, fine, you learned a bunch, right? But it's not, I got the spouse and kids and I need the paycheck, right? So give it a go now. But that's what we want to see, helping friends and family. And let it be Google Maps, let it be Instagram, let it be Facebook, let it be a website, anything. Just help someone, some little business around you, the small apparel shop, the tea stall. Do something for them online. Measure it. See what works. Remember, digital, most of this stuff is free. So very little to lose. Take a couple pictures, nice bio, put them there, right? Then we love to see intellectual curiosity and general knowledge, right? That is one thing we can't train. Just that inherent and intellectual curiosity and kind of wanting to learn and wanting to do. Interested in something besides the salary or the title, right? Let it be singing, dancing, poetry, just something that really, gets you excited about doing some work. And then most important to me, intuitively seeing what's happening online and wonders about the how. Again, that sort of intellectual curiosity. Can't train that, right? Next. And then, so how do we use this? Let's say we have our tea shop, and then I'll give you one real example. Creative, we've moved from these fixed ad units, title, headline, description, or use this picture for my tea shop, into what we call responsive ad assets. Then the machine does the work for us. Targeting and bidding, instead of saying, like, I want my ad on page 10 of New Indian Express, we're now saying, I want this audience, and let's get them wherever they are on the web. And then conversions, measuring success. For a long time, advertising was spray and pray. You do your best, you hope it works. Now we can measure this stuff down to the revenue, and then very simply in that fighter jet cockpit, train the systems. If something's working and it's making money for the business, put more money behind it. If something is not working for the business, fix it or do less of it or don't do it, right? So just to give some examples so you know this is not like just mumbo jumbo, this is one of my favorite campaigns I've worked on. This is for the Davari Surabi cattle app. This is a mobile app in India in 10 plus languages that helps uniquely identify and perform basic health checks on cattle. And I'm really happy. Target audience is small and medium-sized independent farmers, ranchers, and we crossed 300,000 downloads, right? So happy with that. So this is the responsive ad concept. In the old days, we'd say this is the advertisement. Instead, now we put up a bunch of headlines, a bunch of descriptions, a bunch of images, and say, hey, Google, place this all around the web, mix and match those headlines and descriptions so people download and register, right? That's that conversion tracking. And then so instead of sort of that guessing or that spray and pray to marketing, the system for us is trying all these different combinations and arriving at the best ones. Yeah, please. The targeting, in digital ads, we have a concept called the messy middle. Oftentimes we know the stimulus for someone buying a product or service and what they did right before they bought a product and service. But in between, so much stuff happens and it gets confusing or difficult to measure, right? If we think about what got me here today, if we look at what we call first click attribution, meeting Marin got me here today, right? If we look at last click attribution, what was the last thing that got me in here? Security on us said, yeah, come in, right? So if we were using the old method of modeling, last click, to have more international conferences, you would hire more security guards, because that was what happened right before I came in. Obviously, that's flawed measurement, right? So we're getting better and better and better, and what's changed is now, instead of that exact targeting, we're delivering audience insights, where you're telling the systems, this is what I think my target customer likes, reads, watches, searches for, and then wherever they are on the web, we find them. Yeah, please. And then conversions, that's the measurement. And what's funny is the indomitable entrepreneurial spirit of South India has led the way on this for years. Now we have these advanced measurement tools, and you hear terms in e-commerce like ROI, return on advertising spend, all of these kind of things. Every client in Chennai for the past 10 years, when I get called in for the monthly performance review, Rob, this is what we paid, this is what we earned from the web. they were intuitively doing this advanced analysis that's now sort of the cutting edge, right? And then we have unique goals for unique clients. Our publisher clients are the middle, readership. They just want to see the lines go up. More and more people are reading my newspaper each day. Bottom left is the tea stall. How many people physically walked in, saw an ad, and then their GPS coordinate changed to my tea stall. And then like e-commerce and these sort of things are much more measurable. Yeah, please. So what does this look like? Again, back to the Devara campaign. Ultimately, these ads, we uploaded the assets, we gave guidance to audiences, but then the systems worked on these and thought, and remember, this campaign runs in, I think, 9 languages. So across pretty much all the southern languages, a couple of the northern languages, and English, used all these different headlines and titles to come up with what the system saw as the most compelling message in each regional language, right? How cool is that? And what's a really interesting opportunity for everyone here is, again, leading the way in this sort of thought process. We've all seen those, the funny Chinese road sign memes, like on social, where the translation goes wrong. AI might mess it up, right? We saw that in the Have You Eaten example, but you're not going to, right? So keep that in mind. It's a real opportunity. So a few things to think about here. Isaac Asimov, great fiction writer who sort of started coming true. He had his 3 rules of robotics. A robot may not injure a human being, or through an inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Will that hold? I don't know. Paperclip example looked pretty brutal, right? Robot must obey orders given by the human being, except when such orders would conflict with the first law. Maybe. And then finally, a robot must protect its own existence as long as it doesn't conflict with the first or second law. So now, of course, in this example, robotics becomes AI. I don't know if these rules will work or hold true in the coming days, right? But really, it is up to us. When you have these large language models with neural nets that you can train on these data sets, you could do something neutral, make some extra money. Good for you, the family, but not really healing the world. You could do something remarkable. I imagine a cure for cancer is going to come in the next 5 to 10 years, for most cancers. In the next 5 or 10 years, I think AI will lead the way there. Or you could do something bad. How do I make a better missile, right? So really, even though these are automated systems, we're not blameless or not responsible for if they're good or bad, right? And then I was inspired by a quote, and it's a little odd delivering it. Jewish guy in Chennai delivering it at a Catholic school, but let's talk about it. This is a quote from Robert Oppenheimer. He is the father of the nuclear bomb, right? And after the launch, he said, "We knew the world would not be the same. A few people laughed, a few people cried, most people were silent. I remember the line from the scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu's trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him, he takes on his multi-armed form and says, 'Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.' I suppose we all felt that way one way or another, right? And what was interesting to this is, as an American with limited knowledge of the Gita, I thought this was just a terrible thing that had happened, right? I am become death. How scary is that? And then I came to Chennai. People are very familiar. No, it's a good thing, right? No, it's the rebirth. It's sort of the new beginning. It's a change. It's an evolution. I think you can look at it either way, right? And I don't know which way it's going to turn out, but I think we can all do our part to guide these things, leverage them for our personal opportunities, and then perhaps most importantly, for those collective opportunities to sort of heal ourselves, our communities, and the world. In closing, just sort of to recap a little bit, as far as analysts and sort of in the career, we're progressing from kind of the coal shovelers to the fighter jet pilots. That's great if you're at the very beginning, because now you're super enabled, or if you're leading the way, because now it's this next evolution. the sort of middle kind of drone work we need to be very careful about, right? As far as the campaigns, that human element, setting up thoughtful measurement and creative, is what empowers the machines. And then this pure intellectual curiosity is what powers these advancements. And again, they require our human element. And then ultimately, with great power comes great responsibility and opportunity. So yeah, thank you. Delighted to be a part of today, and I hope you found this helpful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for putting forth your ideas and thoughts to the academicians on how AI plays an important role on the emerging economies of the world. That was clear, crystal, and insightful. Thank you very much, sir. I would now like to call upon Srimati Benedict Kumari, the Dean of College Development, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning to everyone. Today is a memorable day, and it is a great pleasure for me to thank you all for the first international conference titled The Role of Artificial Intelligence on Emerging Economies of the World. We have gathered here to explore and discuss one of the most exciting and rapidly evolving fields in technology. Why do we conduct an international conference in colleges? The purpose of this conference is to bring together experts, researchers, faculties, and students from different parts of the world to exchange their knowledge, experiences, and insights into how artificial intelligence can contribute to economic growth and development of emerging economies. Hence, we conduct international conference in colleges. I would like to express my sincere thanks to our chief guest, Mr. Rob Peck from USA, digital marketer, director of client services, O3M directional marketing, who has generously shared his expertise and insights to us. Respected sir, your thought-provoking speech has inspired us, stimulated us, and provided us with valuable ideas and solutions to tackle the challenges of emerging economies. We are very much grateful to our chairperson, Reverend Mother Dr. Lima Rosario, for her intellectual feeding, guidance, and moral support. Mother's minute corrections in each and every step molded us to shape the conference schedule in a systematic way. Mother, you are an encyclopedia, and we follow in your footsteps for everything. Mother's tremendous support has allowed us to host this event, and we will ever remain grateful to our chairperson. Thank you, Mother. I would like to thank all the program advisory committee members. Dr. S. Murugesan, former syndicate member, University of Madras, and former principal, Tiruthangal Nadar College. Dr. S. Ramanathan, former syndicate member, University of Madras, and former principal, Asan Memorial College, Chennai. Dr. N.L. Amudayi, principal, Thirumagan College of Arts and Science, Tiruvallur. Dr. Arakyameri Geeta, vice principal, Patrician College of Arts and Science. These advisory people showered their advice to conduct this conference in an orderly way. I like to extend my gratitude to our resource persons for their presence. Their contribution will definitely enrich the discussions and provide us with a broad outlook on the issues related to artificial intelligence and its role in shaping the future of emerging economies. Our heartfelt thanks to our respected principal, Dr. I. Annamal Arpudameri, for giving her tireless service for this conference. Round the clock, She was pinned with this conference schedule. Thank you so much for your energetic spirit. Our sincere thanks to Srimati Archana, College Public Relation Officer. We are fortunate to have an innovator and creative such as you in our midst. Our team members always depend on your quality work and effort. Thank you very much for your commitment. Our special thanks to our college advisor, Dr. Murugesan. Thanks for your contribution, sir. Your commitment to this team to step up really went above and beyond. The participants who have joined us today from different parts of the world will show their active participation and express their valuable feedback to make this conference a fruitful one. Thank you, dear participants. We wish you all good luck. With a deep sense of gratitude, I thank our faculty members, sisters, our technical team, non-teaching and supporting staff who worked behind for this event. Once again, I thank everyone who has contributed to the success of this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The wait is over and the precious time has come. We are hoping that everyone is in a positive spirit and that you will find this presentation and conversations we have planned for you to be useful and interesting. We request all the participants to assemble in their respective venues after the tea break. I would also like to wish you the best for your presentations. Thank you and have a fruitful day. Kindly stand till the dignitaries leave the hall.